Hey everyone, I'm SousaStep, and tonight I want to talk about my dubstep tuba rig called SousaFX. If you'd like to try it out yourself, all of the hardware requirements and installation instructions are available online. And if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to hit me up on Discord, and I'd be more than happy to help. Once SousaFX is up and running, this main window will appear, which shows the entire signal flow from the mic input to the speaker output. If you click here, the controller bindings window will appear, which shows how the controller's joysticks and buttons are mapped to the effect parameters. If you'd like to edit these bindings, click this menu and click User 1, which will copy the default preset into the User 1 preset slot. Then, when you mouse over the inputs and outputs, you can see what's connected to what. Now, the way to play dubstep with a tuba is to add a bunch of distortion and then run that through a modulated low-pass filter. You click here, the distortion effects bank will appear. By default, it uses the rainbow overdrive effect, but you can also load your own distortion plugins and then select them by holding the right bumper and pressing the D-pad. If you click here, the modulation parameters will appear, and you can view the modulation itself by clicking this toggle. There are a lot of bindings that affect the modulation. I have acceleration, which is also mapped to the delays for the vocal mic, apparently. I have swing, and you have sensitivity, along with a few other things. The D-pad changes the subdivision of the wobble, like this. And that sounds like this. So as you can see, the green line is controlling the low-pass filter modulation. The purple line shows the amplitude modulation of the lows and the octaver. The blue line shows 1 bar, and the yellow line shows the auxiliary LFO that controls the swing. If you want to hear the low-pass filter modulation and the amplitude modulation separately, you can open up this mix bus, and you can mute and solo those channels individually, which sounds like this. The reason why you can hear both the dubstep wobble and the tuba sound is because I'm using a crossfade to fade between the tuba sound when I'm playing loudly and the dubstep sound when I'm playing more softly. That way, when I play a long tone, the very beginning of the long tone sounds like a tuba, and the rest of the long tone sounds like dubstep. If you click here, you can open up the crossfade, and you can adjust the crossfade using one of the bindings called envelope crossfade position, which is right here. That way, when you push the joystick in one direction, you only hear tuba, and when you push the joystick in the other direction, you only hear dubstep, which sounds like this. In addition to the crossfade, I also have a bunch of delays and a stutter effect. You can see the delays by clicking here, and you can see the stutter by clicking here. And these sound like this. As you may be able to tell, the stutter can stutter the delays, and the delays can delay the stutter. So you can go back and forth forever, which is quite fun when you're building a riser for a transition. I also have a looper, which you can view by clicking here. The looper is engaged by using this binding here, the looper record fade out binding. And the cool thing about the looper is that it won't record the stutter effect at the very beginning of the loop, but it will record the stutter effect within the rest of the loop. Also, once the looper starts looping, the main effect switches from the wobble to solo. And the solo effect bank can be accessed by clicking here. You can load your own plugins to use for the solo effect, and you can switch between them by holding the right bumper and trigger and pressing the D-pad like this. So what I'm going to do now is record a loop and then play a short solo and then transition back into the wobble effect after playing a riser using the stutter and the delays. So yeah, that's the general idea of how SousaFX works. It allows you to play a dubstep wobble, loop it, solo over it, generate a riser, and then clear the loop, trigger a new drum beat, and play another dubstep wobble. And you can do that for as long as you'd like until you get bored. Some other things I should talk about are the kick ducker, which you can access by clicking down here. It ducks everything out of the way whenever the kick drum hits, which is quite nice. There's a binding for enabling and disabling that. Oh yeah, you have the monitor and front of house mix, which allows you to change the mix of the front of house and the monitors separately. That's quite useful. And that's all for now. I'll probably be releasing some more in-depth videos in the future. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. I'm more than happy to help. Till next time.